Good morning, Saturday. Today is getting my windshield changed on my car. Got my coffee, 7:30, depending on what clock you look at. 7:30 something. Coffee, windshield getting done. Today I am going to make bagels. I have my no-knead bread setting on my counter right now. Hopefully that comes out good. The dough was pretty sticky when I took it out of the bowl this morning, but we'll see. And then I'm going to attempt English muffins. But before we do all that, I have to clean my kitchen because it's a disaster. I don't know how. It's a disaster. And I don't like cooking in a messy kitchen. So I've already washed the dishes. I'm going to do the floor, the counters, everything. Well, my typical Saturday cleaning. But my kitchen's a mess. I don't know how that... I must have gremlins come in the middle of the night and just like destroy the kitchen. Or it's my 23-year-old son. We're going with number 2. So that is the plan for today. So when I start all that, I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'm done cleaning. So we're going to start with the English muffins right now. It's my thigh. In this bowl here, I have 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3/4 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of water. And it says to microwave until it's 110 degrees, which I don't have a thermometer, so I did it by guessing. And the yeast set aside for 5 to 7 minutes. So that's what that bowl is doing right now. And then it says to combine the flour and salt in the bowl of your mixer and whisk together and fit with the paddle attachment. So we have to add 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour and 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm using Brummel and Brown right now, so I'm just going to add 3 tablespoons into my cup. To my 1 cup measuring thing here. That's 1. This stuff's pretty much melted already because it's been sitting on my counter. 2. And 3. Let me get a spoon. And get this out. Throw this out because it's empty. I'm just going to put this in the microwave for 30 seconds because it's pretty much melted already. We need 2 3/4 cups all-purpose flour. So I have a 2 cup measuring here. And we need 3/4. Good thing I just cleaned this table so I can mess it up all again. 3/4. My melted margarine, technically. I don't know, why is flour so messy? I don't understand that. And then when this is done setting, I have to add an egg to that. And then we add that to the flour. Okay, So I'll be back when that's finished setting. Alright, so my yeast is pretty much bubbled up. I don't know if you can see this, but it's pretty much, it has the foam. So we're going to add that into the flour, and then I'm going to add an egg. And I also did add 1 teaspoon of salt into here. So, what else we got? 1 egg, my milk, blah, 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 blah. So we have to put this in here. And then we have to stir it for 7 minutes, it says. So we'll be back again. All right. It says you're supposed to mix it till it's elastic and smooth. But it's like soup. Anyway, it is kind of elasticy and a little smooth. But I did wind up adding more flour to this, because even after the 7 minutes of this thing going, it was like a soup. So I did wind up adding like another cup of flour. So it says elastic and smooth. So it's kind of elastic. It is smooth. So what I'm going to do, and it also says that it's going to be sticky, which it certainly is. So I'm going to transfer it to a bowl I have here that is oiled. It says that need to let it set aside for about a minimum of an hour, but they taste better if you let it set aside for 4 to 8 hours. So I'm just going to put a towel here. I have oil in the bowl, like I said. Make sure everything's covered here. So this is what we have. We have a goopy mess is what we have. So I'm going to put a towel over this. I'm going to put it in my oven with the oven light on. I'm also going to wash my hands. So we'll continue when this thing's, I'm probably going to let that rise for as long as the bagels take to rise. I also want to make some pizza dough too, because I don't have any of that left. So I'm going to clean my bowl and we'll get started on the bagels. All right, let's get into the bagels. So in here I have 1.5 cups of warm water and 2 3/4 teaspoon of yeast. This bagel recipe I've used quite a few times, and if you've never made bagels, you should try, because they're super simple to make and they're delicious. We need 4 cups of bread flour, and I have made these with all-purpose flour when I didn't have bread flour, and they came out fine. And then we need 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2, and that's it for this. Now this, I will tell you that it says to whisk everything together, then turn it out onto a table and knead it for 6 to 7 minutes. I have the dough paddle on. I just let that go for 6-7 minutes and just let it knead itself. So I'm going to turn this on, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, so my dough is ready. And bagel dough is like a really nice, smooth dough, and it's not sticky at all. So it kind of looks like this, like it's just like a really nice bread dough. So this, I have an oiled bowl here. I'm just gonna put this in the bowl. We're gonna pop it around a couple times. I can put a towel on this and put it in the oven with the light on. So right now I have a couple errands to run. I have to go to the gas station, get some gas in my car, and it's such a beautiful day. I think I'm gonna go to the park and take a walk around the park today because I didn't do that this morning yet. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't need to sit around waiting for this to rise, and maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe the yeast I used is not good and it didn't rise, or maybe the yeast I got is really good and it rose like beautifully. So we will find out when I get back. Okay, we're back. It's 11:30. I just took my English muffin dough out. It's like triple the size of what it was. So reading, I'm just going to pound it down. Reading the thing here says, transfer the dough to a floured counter, then gently spread out and pat down until it's just under an inch thick. So hopefully you could see it's my floured counter. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Pat it down till just under an inch thick. Then line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper, sprinkle with cornmeal or semolina, which I have one over by the table over yonder. Then it says, yada, yada, yada. Next page is, use 3-inch round cutter to cut your muffins, then gently transfer them to the baking sheet. Using a spatula or your hands, re-roll the scraps and continue cutting until the dough is used up. Cover loosely with plastic and place in a warm spot to rise for 30 minutes. Okay, let's do this. I don't have a cutter, so I'm using a glass. Hopefully this works. It'll be a little difficult, and it may be some funky shaped English muffins, but you know what? Still gonna taste the same. It like wants to go back together. Got a lot of air in it. See, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so far I have 5. So I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to get another baking sheet. I'm going to do the rest of these. And then I'm going to cover them, let them rest for 30 minutes. Okay, so I got 12. I have 5 on here. I have 7 on there. So I'm going to cover them with a towel and put them back in the oven with the oven light on for 30 minutes. Just wanted to show you what the no-knead bread looks like inside. This bread is absolutely delicious, and it's so easy to make. It shouldn't even be legal. It's so easy. But like, it's squishy, but it's crunchy on the outside. Oh, it's so delicious. Yeah, super simple to make. I believe I did make a video on how to make this, but pretty much you just throw all the ingredients, flour, water, yeast, salt, in a bowl, stir it up just a little to get it, fairly combined. Throw it on your counter, throw a towel on top, go to sleep, and then you just cook it in your Dutch oven for 40 minutes. It's craziness. And I will say, bread is really easy to make. You shouldn't feel intimidated by it, but bread is super simple to make. The only pain in the ass thing about bread is the cleanup. So I just wanted to show you this. I'm probably going to have some of this for dinner if my son doesn't eat it all by dinner time. But yeah, I'm going to butter up a piece of this and munch on that while I wait for the English muffins to rest. Okay, so my English muffins are out. My oven is preheating for the bagels at 425. It says here, according to the instructions, this is what the English muffins look like after sitting for 30 minutes. According to the instructions, cast iron skittle works best. Put on very low heat until you feel the heat in the pan. And then you just sprinkle some semolina or cornmeal, which I have cornmeal on the bottom. And then you add your dough to the bottom of the pan. So I'm just going to start with 4. And then it says cover the pan, which I don't have a cover for this. Oh, that fits perfectly. And you cook that for 5 minutes on one side. Then you're going to flip them, and then you're going to cook it another 5 minutes. It does say that if the middle of your muffins come out chewy, you can put them in the oven for 3 minutes on 350 degrees. And according to her instructions, it says they will be right as rain. And I got this recipe off of preppykitchen.com. I cannot tell you where I got the bagel recipe from because I've had that recipe for so long, I don't even know where I got it. And I hand wrote it down like so on a three ring piece of paper. But anyway, here's the bagel dough. So that doubled. So apparently my yeast is good. So the bagel is, my oven's preheating. I have here, right here, 2 quarts of water with a 1/4 cup of honey. So basically what you do with the bagel dough is you're going to punch it down, get the air out, and this is not sticky, so this is like a really nice dough. Let's see if I can bring it over. You can see. Okay, good. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take this dough and you're just going to cut it into 8 pieces. Let me bring it closer. Let's see if we can get it a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm just going to take a knife. Cut it in half. And then just cut 4 pieces out of each side. They don't have to be even. At all. So you're going to roll it up like so. Squish it around. And then you're going to make a hole in the center. And this is going to be like, you're going to think that this hole is like huge for a bagel, but once you put it in the water, it puffs up. So I can guarantee you that once we take it out of the water and bake it, it may not even have a hole. Make another hole. Like so. So I'm gonna finish this, and then by the time I finish this, we should be flipping the English muffins. Okay, I'm gonna flip these muffins. I actually wound up turning the stove up a little because I did flip them after 5 minutes, but I think the heat was way too low. So for this side, we're just gonna put the timer on for 3 minutes. My water for the bagels is boiling, so you're just gonna take one bagel and you're just gonna drop it in the water, and these are gonna cook for 1 minute on each side, and then you're gonna flip it, and then you're gonna do the next side. Okay, so the recipe says every time you finish a batch, you're supposed to take out the cornmeal and then put more cornmeal in for the next round. So we're just gonna put more in, and then we're just gonna add 4 more, and I'm definitely going to have to cook these more than 5 minutes as per the instructions. Put the top on. Then I have my second round of bagels. So these are ready to be flipped over. Set my timer again. I'm going to put it on 7 minutes because I think that's what these things really need. But anyway, I took the first batch out. They seem kind of, I don't know, they don't seem done in the middle when I touch them. But I'll let these cool off and let them cook a little more on the rack. We'll see what it looks like. If that's the case, we'll do like the directions say and throw them in the oven. Okay, so these are ready to go in the oven to give them an egg wash. And believe me, there have been times that I've forgotten the egg wash. So this is just one egg and some water. I'm just gonna put it on here. And these are, you know, some funny looking bagels, but they will poof up again when they go in the oven. So you put them in the oven at 425 for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so I just cut open the first English muffins that I did. So this is what they look like. I'm actually quite surprised. I thought that they would be raw. But you know, the true thing is, what do they taste like? Oh, these things are really freaking good. Pain in the ass to make, but really good. Very buttery. I'll definitely make these again. Let's have the last batch, cook them. I'll show you what they will look like when they're done. Okay, so I'm going to have a bagel. Here's one of them that came out. These bagels, this recipe I made does make chewy bagels, but they are crunchy on the outside and they are chewy on the inside. So I'm just going to have a bagel with cream cheese. This is going to be my lunch. I also had 2 pieces of this bread too. The other 4 bagels are in the oven and they'll be coming out in about 15 minutes. So here are my bagels. They're not the prettiest bagels, and they don't look like a bagel that you get at a bagel shop, but they were delicious because, as you saw, I had one for lunch. So we have 7 bagels, less 1. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 English muffins. Came out with 12, but I did test to make sure that they were done, and they were. and then the bread. So I'm just going to let all of these cool off. I'm going to keep some English muffins out in a paper bag for us to eat, and the rest are going in the freezer. The bagels, the same thing. I'll keep like maybe 3 out and put 4 in the freezer for later. Oh, we'll see. I may keep them all out. But yeah, and it is right now 1:22. So I also got an order from Miss AOA delivered to me today. So I got some eyebrow razors, I should say. 2 of her makeup wipes. I really like her makeup wipes. I got 2 mascaras. I got a foundation, a lip oil, and a primer. So that's what I got from her, delivered in the mail today. So I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to finish up my laundry, watch some TV, relax a little, because I've done a lot since I woke up. I woke up this morning. Why? 4 o'clock. No idea why. So, and I've done a lot, and it's 1:25 now. So I'm going to end this here, and I'll see you on next week.